Hi, this is David again, and you can see I rented this Christmas tree. It's when we used to pay tithing. We never had money for the Christmas tree, and we always went to garage sales for the children's presents. But anyway, here's my festive Christmas video. I want to do this video on personal revelation. The Mormon Church uses that phrase an awful lot to convince people that God has spoken to their hearts and has told them that the Mormon Church and what they're being told by the leaders of the Mormon Church are all true. Now, I want to make it very, very clear that I am not going to discount, and I'm very educated in this area. My master's degree, I did a lot of extrasensory perception, research and studies, readings, telepathy, out-of-body experiences, near-death experiences, healings, visions, channeling, astrology, numbers. Oh my God, it goes on and on and on. Cults. Certainly, I have some education at this level of human endeavors. And I have a master's degree in being able to teach human psychology and how humans believe and think and where the endorphins and the adrenaline and other chemicals enter the brain and other areas. Anyway, what I want to say is only what I know. I'm not going to expand or try to convince anybody, including myself, of extrasensory types of experiences in life. When people have said that their mother has appeared to them, who is dead, at the bottom of the bed one night, how can I say that that didn't happen? How can I say that did happen? I can't explain that. I can't explain when mothers have women's intuition and they think their baby is unsafe and they jump up in the middle of the night and run in the room where the baby is, and sure enough the baby is tangled in the blankets and stressful and just in distress. Now, here's where I kind of take a little bit of a turn. There are things in life, because I've experienced them. I'm not talking to you or myself here. Maybe I'm talking to myself. No one's going to look at these videos. That's a possibility, and a good one. But I'm not trying to convince me or anyone else that there is no extrasensory types of experience. Things we don't understand. I've done research with emotionally disturbed children, extensive research. 20,000 individual tests with individuals that were emotionally disturbed, testing for telepathy. I found out that those kids could feel and have emotions transmitted to them from a far distance. So let's get down to how this has to do with Mormonism. Well, the missionaries, they're always good looking. Well, there's not many exceptions. You know, you don't get the fat, ugly, stupid people out on a mission. You get a lot of naive people, a lot of people that don't know much about the Mormon Church at all, but they're out there telling you about it. And these young people are trained at what we call the MTC, the Mission Training Center down in Provo. Well, and that's right across from the Provo Temple, and it's on the BYU campus, and they spend whatever it is, 6 weeks there learning about your language and your culture. Well, that's not all they learn at the Language Training Center. Those Mormons who lead that center and who lead much of the church are professional business people, people who have been in sales their whole life, and successful salesmen. I sold insurance for New England Life in Massachusetts, in Boston, for years, and I was on what was called the $1 Million Round Table. Well, it wasn't a round table, and it didn't have $1 million on it, but I had the plaque on my wall that says I was one of the best insurance agents in the world. There's only a few people that get on the MDRT. So I know a little bit about sales, I know a little bit about psychology, and I know a lot about Mormonism. I was there for 50 years, hiding in the foyer, hoping to God that I would get through this meeting and not kill myself from boredom. So, these young people are trained there at the Mission Training Center before they come out to your house and knock on your door. Well, they're trained in many, many areas of very sophisticated salesmanship. One of the techniques that they're taught is basically self-suggestion, that they'll say to their members and to their... I have to look at my camera. See, my head is almost out. Wait a minute, I'm losing my head. Wait. Cameraman, take two. Take two, cameraman. Jeez. All my staff here, there. Now I'm in the picture. What a guy. Shit. All right, let me go back to, other than me being stupid, they learn salesmanship, and man, they're good at it. They will say to their investigators, well, don't you feel like the Lord wants you to join this church? Don't you feel good? Don't you feel that what we've told you about Joseph Smith, how does that make you feel? Well, when you have two guests in your home and you're talking somewhat intimately about religion or whatever, you don't say, no, I don't feel it. I think it's crap. Human beings just have more courtesy and respect than that. And the missionaries are trained to know that, and they're trained to watch for what we called buying signals. If you could get a person in insurance to say yes once, you're almost there. If you can get them to say yes twice, that's second base. The third yes is a home run, and the checkbook comes out, and they sign it, hand it to you, and out the door you go. So when a missionary tests where your experience and where your emotions are, they'll say, well, how do you feel? You say, well, you know, it could be true. Well, do you think that it might be true? Yes, I think it might be true. And if it's true, wouldn't you want to be part of it? Of course, yes, there's two. So I know a little bit about sales, and I know a little bit about suggestion. If you sit a person in a chair for a year and you say to them, I like red, I like red, I like red, their favorite color is going to be red. I'm telling you from psychology. We've seen it in prison camps, we've seen it in cults, we've seen it in kidnapping. Years ago, Patty Hearst, before most of you were ever born, was kidnapped, and then she became part of the kidnapping group. So, and we've seen people in prison camps become friends with the war people that have stolen them. So the psychology of conversion to Mormonism, you've got to be very, very careful of. Now, I'm not saying that people can't have feelings, that, you know, this is something you see all the time in conversion with Mormonism, is the missionaries randomly knock on doors, but suddenly you have a divorce, or your child was just saved from a car being run over and they're in the hospital, or your husband's got bypass surgery going on, or some crazy thing has come up in your life. These guys knock on your door, these gals, and you go, it must be Jesus. It must be God. I've been waiting for you. I knew Jesus would send two of his friends dressed in suits with little badges on. This is a miracle. You get a substantial amount of that with converts in the Mormon church. They're usually people in transition. They're usually people that are in desperation in their life, and they see the missionaries as saviors. Now, one of the problems that the Mormon church has had, because my wife is from the Philippines, and she's a returned missionary. She went on a mission for the church, the Mormon church in the Philippines, and she said that the mission president told them to quit converting so many poor people, that the poor people flocked to the Mormon church, kind of like vultures over a dead body, if I may use that Christmas analogy. But they didn't want poor people. Now, why are poor people joining the church in droves all over the world? Because now there's more Mormons outside of the United States than there are inside. Well, I've been in the Philippines. I lived there for a little while, and I've never seen poverty like that in my life. I've never seen death like that in my life, and I've never seen such lack of opportunity. Well, when you can't even get a meal every day, and somebody in America comes to your door in a suit which you could never afford to buy in your lifetime, and tells you God has sent them, you're saying to yourself as a Filipino or from Ecuador or Brazil, my friends in Brazil, gosh, Jesus has come to save my ass. Well, I'm not going to say that's not true. I'm going to let you decide for yourself. Is it a coincidence those missionaries showed up, or did God go, hey, over there, knock on that ghetto door right over there, right in the squatters area, right there. Those are the people I want to have some food. Well, these poor people see the missionaries, and they see the Mormon church, and they've heard the rumors of the Mormons taking care of themselves and taking care of other people. So we have to be careful of how we feel, and that the Mormon church basically counts on you feeling the Spirit. Now here's where I take a real right turn with the Mormon church, okay? I ran my whole damn life, a half a century of my life in the Mormon church, with feelings. I feel it's the right thing to do. I feel. The Mormons call that a burning in your bosom. Well, I laugh myself to death when I hear that phrase, because Joseph Smith married two 14-year-olds, and I think if he was snuggled down in bed with them and they're naked, I think he had a burning in his bosom. I think that's where the saying came from, a burning in his bosom. Well, I haven't been that unfortunate or fortunate. Let's not go there. I'm happily married. The burning in your bosom is the main conversion tool to the Mormon church. And it happens with suggestion. Don't you feel this is right? Would you like to pray tonight? We really feel the Spirit. Do you feel the Spirit? Have you ever been in a group of people? I have a couple of times. I try to stay out of these groups where they're all going, pay, lay, ale, and they're chanting, and you're going, holy shit, what's that crap? But you do it too, because they're doing it. And then I've been in sales meetings where they're all going, yeah, get them, yeah. It's like a football game. It's kind of like where everybody is getting emotional and getting on the frenzy of a riot and out of their minds. Well, that is what Mormonism counts on. When you have 2 or 3 missionaries and you have ward members patting you on the back and love bombing you, this feels good. And you're not going to say, whoa, wait a minute. Now, I had a class at BYU, I remember, it's called Mass Communication. And it taught me a little bit about when people get together in groups. They'll do things in groups that they will not do in individual life. And because I'm kind of an oddball and bipolar and obnoxious, there's been times I've been in groups and they're all going, hail to the Hitler stuff, the Mormon stuff, I don't care what it is. And I kind of look around and people look at me and say, well, he doesn't feel the Spirit. They're right. I don't feel the Spirit. What I feel are human beings working themselves up emotionally. Now, I lived my life for half a century, as I said, being emotional and making my decisions on emotions. It was a disaster. Married 5 times. I'm on my 6th wife right now. 6th marriage. Okay? I got 14 children. Because I thought, I can't tell you, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that I was a Mormon and that I thought these things. We had, I forget, 5, 6, 8 kids, I forget what it was. And then suddenly, one morning, I came into my wife and I said, honey, I just feel like there's a little girl up in heaven that wants to come into our family. and she wants to come through my penis and your egg. I didn't say that part of it. But I did say there's a little girl, and I think, well, so, you know, what we did, it was a dirty job, but someone had to do it. So, you know, we're singing Pale Ale, and suddenly my little Jenny was born. And I say, see, we were right. The Lord was speaking to our hearts. Well, 14 kids, that's a lot of emotion. That's a hell of a lot. And I worked 2 damn jobs my whole life. I never had a pot to piss in. And the bill chasers continue to chase me for deaths that are 25 or 30 years old. I thought there was a statute of limitations, but it's like leaving the Mormon church. This is the Hotel Utah. You can never check out. Well, anyway, I'm trying to express to you that I ran my life on the still small voice. And it's still very, very small. My still small voice, as I began to read the history of the Mormon church, began to dissolve. And he's not there, not much anymore. If he is, he's hiding because I don't feel him. I don't run my life anymore on emotion. And this has been a terrible, terrible, difficult recovery from a cult. When I had to come out and into the real world after I resigned from the Mormon church, I had no social skills. And when you look at this, you can see that. I'm bearing you my damn testimony. This is my best friend right here. I have no other friends that are human in the world. My little one, the other day my wife says, well, gee, you don't seem to want to go out with your friends. And my little 8-year-old, almost 9, she said, well, Dad doesn't have any friends. They're all on the computer. It's better than nothing. Before I did this, I had no friends. So when you come out of the Mormon church, if you stay in, that's fine. I'm saying that they never prepared me. The Mormon church, there was no confrontation. No one ever said no. Everyone just bowed their head and said yes. And when I come out into the real world on the internet, there's some of you that are going to see this and say, he's a piece of shit. And you're going to write me and say, you're a piece of shit. And I'll go, in the Mormon church, I never had that experience. Everyone just patted me on the back. I was a piece of shit then, but they didn't act like it. I just was accepted because I was in the cult, and I verified their validation of them being in the church. 2 people can't be all wrong, now can they? So, to come out and start to use my brain was extremely difficult, and I am experienced. I'm well educated, and I have been in a lot of places and done a lot of things. And I had a hell of a time the first couple of years out of the LDS church. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to meet people and enjoy them just for who they were. I was always trying to look at people. Are you one of the cult? Now I know what to say in our meetings and conversations. So if you want to live your life based upon emotion, be my guest. I don't give a rat's ass. I keep telling you on these videos over and over. I'm not trying to get anyone out of the Mormon church. I don't hate the Mormon church. I like the Mormon church more than I like a circus. I don't find circuses that funny. Slapstick humor. It's not my forte. It's humans. When humans stand up and say, I have met God, and one of his angels chased me around the room with a flaming sword and told me to marry 2 14-year-olds, I find that better than Comedy Central. I do. What? Angel, over here. Flaming sword. Jeez, that's funny shit. That is funny. And the guy says, well, I had gold plates. Well, can I see him? No. Well, why not? Because the angel took them because he wanted you to have faith in me saying I had gold plates. Oh! I go, that's better than Abbott and Costello. That's better than any comedians I've ever seen. And when somebody says, well, we need to help the poor, and we want you to donate your money to us, and then we're going to go out and help poor people, I go, that's good. That's a good thing. I'm an atheist. You guys know that. I love the Christmas tree. And I have, not hymns, but Christmas music on. My kids get presents. I'm not fanatical. I'm not fanatical. I'm just saying When we say in the Mormon church, we're going to help poor people, please give us your money. Man, I just opened my pockets up and I gave them 10% for 50 years. Now I'm living in Salt Lake City area. And I go downtown and I see the Jesus Mall. It's like 35 stories tall. $1 million condos all through the building, and the City Creek River running through the mall, which was diverted for $125 million to get this real City Creek to come through the mall, and a skylight that is bigger than any football stadium you have ever seen opens up in the day and the night so you can see the stars. But if it's snowing, the Mormons can close it like heaven. And now they're inside of a mall. And I said to myself, Self, Jesus has everything. He owns the universe. So he went to Hinckley and he said, Hinkster, I have a job for you to do. And Hinky, he's, yes, Lord, that bow of Pele, go for it. I want a mall. What? I want you to build me a mall. No one's ever built me a mall before in all the universes that I own. I want you to build me a mall and put the City Creek River through it. It's kind of scenic for me. Hinkster goes, okay. I've been there, folks. I've seen it with my own eyes. They had condos in there for $300,000, a one-bedroom condo, which is a lot of money in Utah. It's kind of like the Philippines. $300,000 for a condo. They couldn't sell them. They couldn't sell them. So, Jesus, I guess Jesus doesn't need the money, but the Mormon church does. So they cut the condo prices in half, moved them down to $150,000. They're still not selling. Why? Well, Jesus isn't as smart as Donald Trump. Jesus put his mall in the middle of a ghetto. So all of these old Mormon ladies that are 78 years old that are running along the sidewalks away from the homeless people trying to get Christmas money, they don't want to live there. And all of the old boys like me that can only climb 1 or 2 staircases, if you got to go from the parking lot to the top story to your condo, it's a half an hour. I go, nah, I'll just go shopping somewhere else and live somewhere else. Well, that's comedy. That is comedy at its best. These people just don't know how to spend money. They know how to spend their own money, but not yours. If your money comes rolling in there in pesos and euros, it doesn't matter. They just spend your money like crazy people. So, going back to the topic, if you want to live your life because you feel that God told you to build a mall, build a damn mall! I don't care. If God told you, you're looking, and I'm probably divulging too much of my personality, but if you're looking across the room and you go, whoa, that's nice, woo, your mind is saying this, of course. Boy, I haven't seen jeans fit like that since I last jumped off the roof and got into my own. She's hot. Oh my gosh, look at her hair, look at her eyes. Oh my gosh. The mother of my next children. I have a burning feeling. Tell me about yourself, honey. Oh, you're on probation? Well, it wasn't a serious crime, was it? Well, anyone can murder somebody. Oh, and you were in for drug addiction? Hey, I like candy bars. I'm really addicted to candy bars. Heroin. Okay. Okay, a little murder and heroin, and I'm sure you went to a nice university. Yes, it can be called 6th grade. Your parents let you out. No, you were married the first time out of 6. And the first time, 6th grade. Now, it's my penis thinking. It's not even my heart. So I'll say, with the right side of my brain, the left side isn't turned on at all. Say, Mr. Penis, do you think she could make a good mother? And Mr. Penis goes, yes. And he gives me a burning feeling. Yeah, see? It's like Joseph. The Lord is speaking to me. And, I propose marriage and she's desperate and she accepts. Well, there's the other 5 marriages in a nutshell. There they are. One was two were mental patients, but I thought, well, I've got that feeling. 2 were cheerleaders. That really gave me a burning feeling. They were nutballs. Oh, God. So, I'm trying to give my experience as the burning feeling, the still small voice, and the Holy Ghost. I'm always saying to my 8, 9-year-old girl, her TV is on, I said, is the Holy Ghost watching your TV or are you? And she'll say, it's the Holy Ghost. I said, he doesn't pay the electricity here. Go in and turn that stupid thing off. I'm not living my life anymore on emotion and anymore on a feeling. I'm living my life now on the left side of my brain. I try to be kind, understanding, and empathetic, and a good person. But the right side of my brain doesn't rule my life. It's the left side. If she has tattoos, which she did, and she's a drug addict, which she was, and she's been in for murder, and she's out on parole, those are not some of the traits that I'm looking for in my next wife and the mother of my children. Now, the left side of the brain will click on and go, David, you got shit for brains. She's not going to be your next wife. What the hell are you thinking with? Yeah, she's good looking. Those pants are great on her. Her hair and her eyes are fantastic. You feel like you died and went to heaven. You marry that girl and you're going to think you died and went to hell. Oh, okay. And I don't get that old burning feeling anymore. I really get a feeling of safety and a feeling of relief that my brain is actually working. Now, the Mormon Church counts a lot on you being desperate and being in a pinch and being in a low place in your life. They count on them suggesting, because they're calm, those young people are clean, they're pleasant, they come from good families, and that is going to make anybody feel the Spirit. Well, if you're really poor and you don't even have any food, now you really feel the burning, because sometimes the Mormons will give you food. Not much anymore, but in the old days they used to do that. They're as poor as some third world countries now. But be that as it may, I say to myself, David, live with your brain. Make your decisions with your brain. I have more now that I don't, I used to wake up and I would say, I think the Lord wants me to go to Florida. And my wife would look at, my wives, the group of them, would look at me and go, what? Says, yeah, I think there's a better job for me in Florida. And all of you get your pillowcases. My kids always tease me, the ones that were raised in the church. Most of them don't speak to me anymore, but they used to say, Dad wants us to get our pillowcases. That was a signal. We're moving. Take what you can in a pillowcase, put it in the car. The Lord is sending us to Florida. We have no money. Our credit cards are charged to the max. But Dad thinks the Lord has spoken to him. I can't tell you how ashamed I am that I lived my life like that and dragged 12 of my kids through that. These other 2 are not dragged into that at all. They're as far away from those feelings and the cult as I can get them. And I quit good jobs. I married wrong people. I bought houses that I've had, in those days I had 2 foreclosures. And cars, I had 1 or 2 repos, voluntary repos. All of those Mormon feelings screwed my life up. Now, am I perfect now that I don't go by the Holy Ghost? No, I'm not perfect now, but I'm happy now. I have time. I have time to sit in front of this camera and go, hey, I can say whatever I want. In fact, I had enough money to buy the damn camera. Back in the old days, I don't even have many pictures of my children. We couldn't afford. That was a luxury to have a camera. I drove cars on bald tires and wouldn't start in the winter. I've crawled underneath for years and put starters on them and batteries and windshield wipers that, wouldn't work. And I had a car in Massachusetts. Now, I don't have to say much more about snow than Massachusetts. It was a Volkswagen bus. Had no heater in it. So I put a catalytic converter heater in with 5 or 6 kids and a wife, and there was no defroster. And I'm defrosting with a stick on the inside, driving with my left hand, because I think that's what the Lord wanted. He wanted me to sacrifice. He wanted me to suffer, to prove through the Mormon church that I loved him and that I didn't need a defroster. I didn't need a heater. I think kids bundled up in snowsuits in the inside of a car for hours with 2 blankets thrown over them so I can pay tithing is a good idea. I got the feeling, Lord. Here's my money. Kids, you don't have to be warm. Keep moving. I don't want you frozen to the ground. What the hell was I thinking? How abusive can parents be that they would take money and give it to a multi-billion-dollar corporation and let their own children be hungry or naked, not naked, but not having clothes or medical or dental? How can a parent do that? Well, I'm ashamed. I'm sitting here and, I have a Christmas tree now. And you know what? I own it. I own this little tree. Came from Walmart. We have a condo, huge condo, 2nd floor, ceiling fans, patio, fireplace. Did that come from me feeling, or did that come from me understanding FHA? Did that come from my brain understanding down payment? Did that come from my brain talking about points? Did that come from my brain about location, location, location? You decide for yourself. If you've got a fabulous life, if I do now maybe my life isn't for you. I don't know. I'm not trying to make you like me. Maybe I'd rather be like you. But I have all the time in the world. I don't have to work. I don't work. I haven't worked since I was 48. I have enough money to live on. I can't go to Europe every year or some crazy stuff like that. I don't have a boat or an airplane. I have a nice home. I have 2 2011 cars, and I have wonderful kids, and I can go any place that I want. I can do anything within the law that I want. I can dress. A lot of times when I do my videos, I'm sitting at the video cam in there, I just have a shirt on. I just sit there in my underwear. I couldn't do that anywhere else. I can stay in bed as long as I want. I can get up. I can go out, get in one of the new cars, go down to McDonald's, buy a Big Mac, and when they say, "Do you want the little tiny one, David?" All the McDonald's know me. And I go, "Well, no, I can take the medium now." Now, you guys probably don't think that's funny. My kids make so much fun of, my Mormon kids made so much fun of me that, "Dad, you always ordered a Big Mac for you, and then you cut the children's meal in half and gave it to us, and we just looked at you eating the Big Mac." Well, I used to think that was one of my disturbed children. But when 2 or 3 of them would get in a group and verify those experiences, I go, "Shit, did I do that?" I used to get the toy out of the Happy Meal and try to sell it at garage sales so I could pay for the kids' school lunch program. My life has changed. Yours might not. You're happy as can be. I don't know what the hell you're doing looking at these videos. I have no idea. I enjoy looking at them. I was laughing to my wife this morning. I've got 9,000 hits right now, which I've always said to you guys, I can't believe 9,000 people. It's my mother in California. She went on vacation, and I'm sure she's clicked on there 9,000 times. I'm happy being out of the Mormon Church. I am happy using the left side of my brain. I am happy trying to be a good person out in the world. I don't smoke. I don't care if you smoke. I don't drink. I don't care if you drink. I don't screw everybody. I don't care if you screw everybody. I'm simply saying that many of the standards that I had to live by in the Mormon Church, I still find helpful to me in my life. Now, if I'm at out to dinner, I've ordered a couple of drinks here and there. Once every month and a half, I might have a pina colada or something that is fun for me to drink. I bought 1 bottle of wine the last year, and it's gone. So I could be an alcoholic. I don't know. But I'm telling you, I don't feel guilty. I don't feel fearful. I don't feel remorse. I don't feel angry. I'm telling you, when I don't find enough on HBO or cable to make me laugh, I just Look out the window and watch the Mormon mothers dragging 3 little kids, 1 on each shoulder, 2 in a stroller, and dad's loaded down with a diaper bag, and he looks like he's been run over by a truck, and you know, she's got an ass that looks like a truck. I just look out the window. I look in the newspaper. I read TV, or read the newspaper, watch TV. Sometimes I go on the internet. Oh my God, see, the Mormons say, now, see, he's on the evil internet. Well, if the internet is so evil, why is the Mormon church, Mormon.org, Mormon.org, why are they all over the internet? But you can't be. I can be. And now I can click on 10,000 spots and go, well, do you think that's the truth? Or do you think these 900 people or this 800? And then I make my own decision. I say, well, you know, it leans this way. I think this is probably more truthful. So, if you want to live your life on emotions, you want to live your life on feelings, be careful. Because emotions and feelings are not always positive. And I'm telling you from my experience, if I live on emotions, and I think it's a good thing to move to Florida in a 30-second notice, leave all the furniture, leave all the cars, just take 1 car and go to Florida and come up in a strange town with no money and start my family all over again and put them back into school. Emotions can go both ways. When that doesn't work well, rather than blaming myself, I have been taught to blame others around me. So now I'm, in the old days, yelling and screaming and slamming doors, and you kids don't understand. God and me are friends. And go, well, Dad, you know, I lost all my friends at school. You don't need friends. Joseph Smith didn't have a friend in the world. Only Jesus. Oh, okay. Be careful living on emotion. Now, when something comes up in my life, a child disobeys, or the school calls me and says, you know, your kid is being an idiot, which they haven't done in these last 2. The first 10, we had a red line phone, like to Moscow, to the school. If you're happy and you want to live on personal revelation, that burning in your bosom, that feeling that God is speaking to you, if you believe in a still small voice, that's fine. That's fine. Live your life. Why in Utah are we the capital of fraud in the United States? We are #1 in drug addiction, prescription drug addictions. We're #3 in obesity. We're #1 in bankruptcy. We're #3 in child molestation. We are #1, 2, 3 in so many negative areas of life. It can't be a coincidence. I had statistics in school. It can't be a coincidence. There's something that makes the state of Utah the laughing capital of the world. The Mormons hated the blacks, they've hated the gays, they've hated the women's rights, they hate polygamy, yet they started polygamy. This is a, well, I was going to say rough and tumble state. I would use the phrase more that it's a lack of humble state. They live, the legislature. I told you in one of the other videos, we had a senator caught naked in a hot tub with a 15-year-old. He's still in the Senate. He wasn't excommunicated. We had one of our general authorities, I can't remember his name right now, but he was a Native American, an Indian man who was in the 70s, the first quorum of 70s, which is a general authority. And when I first read his history, it said that he had arguments with Ezra Taft Benson, and that's why he got excommunicated. Well, I looked on the computer, and I found some other sources. And finally, he said, the guy that got excommunicated, those were all Mormon lies. I did not get excommunicated because I disagreed with the prophet. I got excommunicated because I was grabbing the boobies of a 12-year-old that lived next door. I've had a lot of 12-year-old girls, and so I'm speaking from experience here, you know. There's not a lot of boobs to grab on a 12-year-old girl. But this general authority thought there was enough for him to be excommunicated, and he was brought up on child molestation charges, etc. But he had a burning, see? He had the burning in his bosom, like Joseph snuggling naked 14-year-old girls. I guess they have bigger boobs. I don't know. I'm speaking a little out of context here because I think there's a certain amount of privacy when young girls are growing up, to let them turn into women and not sex objects, to let them trust a father, to trust older men, to trust the society that we live in, to trust their teachers and Sunday school teachers and their scout leaders. God, what is wrong with many of these Mormons that have their dick out all the time for children? I'm getting emotional. I guess I'm feeling the spirit. Well, the left side of my brain is going crazy. If you're happy and you know it, what is that phrase? That used to be in the church. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Yeah, that's an old... Jesus wants me for a sunbeam. Those of you that write and say you're not really a Mormon, you've never been a Mormon. I can sing songs that the Mormon church had out before you were born. I was a Mormon for 50 years. You don't know what a cry room is. You've never seen a cry room. Used to be up above the chapel. And you could overlook the chapel through the windows, and you had the babies up there and the teenagers giving notes, and you could look down and the speakers were up there. You've never seen a children's cry room. You have never seen it. And you've never heard, Jesus wants me for a sunbeam, yeah, to shine for him each day. What am I doing here? Trying to prove that I was a Mormon? It's the feeling. I gotta go back to the left side. So let me summarize this and let me just be done. And please enjoy my tree because I'm at a neighbor's house. I have no money. I am homeless. I live under a tree, and I just snuck in while he went to work. And I'm walking. I just take the bus sometimes and hang on the outside because, Satan has punished me and taken me away from the family of the Mormon church. Feelings can be very, very dangerous to make major decisions by. We can always slow down. We can always say, well, let me think about this. Let me take a week or a month or a year, and let me think about this. Emotions can come and go. They can come from the outside, things that are happening in our environment. They can come from the things on the inside, chemicals, adrenaline, endorphins, alcohol, drugs, sickness, disease, dementia. We're all subject to those things. They're all going to hit us somewhere, somehow in this life. Why bring it on early, marrying people we got no business marrying, taking and quitting jobs we've got no business doing, and building businesses and buying cars and trucks and huge decisions because we feel good? Well, we may feel good right now, but look down the road 25, 50 years and see how you're going to feel then. Take a look at child support. Take a look at not being able to visit your kids. Take a look at your children shunning you. Take a look at death. And take a look at disease and disability. So, this may be my last Christmas, especially this video, I don't know. So let me at least say to anyone that watches these videos at any time, even my family and my children, I am thankful and grateful that I got out of the Mormon church. I saw, in my opinion, the light. No one hurt my feelings. I have no feelings. No one excommunicated me. I didn't have any word of wisdom problems. I never had any disciplinary counsel. The Mormons can't believe that there's thousands and thousands of us who just look at the doctrine, read the history, and we go, whoa, I don't want my name like on the Vietnam Wall. That's a place to be proud of. I'd like my name on the Vietnam Wall there in Washington, but I'm not going to put my name on the Mormon Mall. I'm not going to have those children and those little precious eyes and faces that I held in the orphanage, in Butuan, in Mindanao, die in my arms from starvation. and dysentery. Pay my money for a Jesus mall? I'd rather pay $1 and feed that baby for a month and a half. Sorry, that's just the kind of guy I grew into. So have a Merry Christmas. You can be an atheist and enjoy Christmas. I enjoy the songs, I enjoy the trees, and the lights and the excitement of the kids opening presents. I just don't believe, after I had the experience in Mormonism with magic gold plates and magic angels with swords, and it wasn't much of a jump for me to go to Mormonism into atheism. But I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Merry Holiday, and I hope something somewhere along the line helps somebody. I went to school and I spent my whole life dedicated to trying to make other human beings happy and better than they were. And if I failed, I'm sorry. And again, I'm not trying to get anybody out of the Mormon Church. That's a decision everybody has to make. If you want to be a Catholic, a Baptist, and watch my videos, I don't care. If you don't want to watch them, don't click on them. Don't click on them. But it is a fun time of the season. I do enjoy the holiday seasons. And, you know, I'm trying to use the left side of my brain for once in buying presents for my kids. I hate to keep making payments on the Visa card for 9 months because I had a feeling that my children needed $1,000 each for Christmas presents. You have a happy Christmas. Thank you so much.